It's Bourbon Night. Hello, I am Chad.
I'm Sara.
And we went to New Orleans.
We went to New Orleans. We went for the Bourbon Festival, the New Orleans Bourbon Festival's first year ever. What? And we made it back alive.
Yeah. So, take us through, let's see, we got down there on Thursday.
That's correct.
What did we do Thursday?
So, Thursday night, we went to, there was a bunch of, bourbon dinner pairings, and you could choose which one you went to. And the one that we got to go to was with Trey Zoller of Jefferson. So, it was at Salon by Sucre. They did a really great 4-course. You got a welcome cocktail, and then a Jefferson's product paired with every course. And then Trey walked us through, some of the stuff behind his favorite expressions that he's been working on lately, one of which being the Ocean Cask Strength. He did the Pritchard Hill, we got regular Ocean, and we finished the night with a Manhattan paired with some delicious dessert that they made, and it was awesome. We left quite drunk with a signed bottle each.
We did. We also live streamed it.
We did, on our Facebook.
Trey's Whole Talk, we live streamed it on our Facebook page, so if you don't like our Facebook page or even know that we have a Facebook page, we're not very good at telling people about it. We have a Facebook page. You should like us and love us. And we would love that if you like us. So that was Thursday. Then Friday was the first grand tasting. They had a grand tasting Friday and Saturday. But there was, how many, 80?
83 or 86, I can't remember. Some number like
83,
that.
83, 86. A lot in the 80s.
Of
bourbons that
to
you
sample.
can try.
Right.
So going Friday, you get to try half of them. Saturday, you go back and try the other half. But
you can't try them all in one night.
That's not advisable.
No,
you'd forget whether you like it or not by that point. So Friday, we just kind of in the daytime we just went around, got some
moseyed about New Orleans.
Shrimp po' boys.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah.
Then we went to the real tasting.
Yeah, the real tasting, the grand tasting, which is basically it's a place called the Sugar Mill. Yeah, it's an empty warehouse with all these booths set up, but it's pretty much like the bourbon set up, then a food set up, then a bourbon set up, then a food set up. So you go around, and so that was great. Went around and tried maybe about half of them, like we planned to, and then Saturday morning started the seminar series. Yeah,
9
a.m. But we were troopers, and we were there. We were there. We were at the 9 a.m. seminar, which was about the future of bourbon.
It was the future of bourbon, but it was the barrel strength bourbon. It was the Bourbon Babe. She's on Twitter and on Instagram. The name of her book is Barrel Strength Bourbon, and that's by Carla Carlton, aka the Bourbon Babe. She talked to me a little bit about her Bourbon Women group, which is actually really cool, and I'm thinking about joining. It's basically like a blind tasting group.
Actually, let's hear from the Bourbon Babe herself talking about Bourbon Women.
It's a group by membership. It's $50 to join for a year, and we typically have anywhere from 10 to 12 events, and they're always fun because they're behind the scenes with distillers or mixologists, and I always learn something, even though I know a lot. It's very educational, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, if you're going to be in a networking group, why not be in one where you drink bourbon?
Exactly.
So it's at bourbonwomen.org.
Okay.
And people can just go there and sign up.
All right, great. Yep. And then we went to our next seminar after that, which was a treat.
Yes.
This was
Legends of Bourbon.
Eddie Russell and Fred Harry.
Oh my gosh, boy, are they comfortable with each other and the audience.
Yeah. Well, they grew up with each other, which is really cool. And they are competitors, but they're also friends, which is really unique.
Yeah, that's something kind of cool that they talked about. And that I really got the sense of that I didn't really know before going to this and talking to more master distillers is that they have sort of a rising tide moves all boats mentality of that they're all making something a little bit different. Everybody's out for their own, they're trying to make their own creation, make their mark, but the more people that come to try those variations, the better it is for the whole industry. So they encourage you to try, because everyone likes something different. So very cool stuff, though.
It's very cool. Can I get...
You want some bourbon?
Something. So next was Kentucky Uncut. Is that right?
Kentucky Uncut. So it was with Adam Harris, who is he works for Jim Beam, but he's also Whisky Ambassador of the Year.
He was Whisky Ambassador of the Year.
Yes.
He is the brand ambassador for Beam Suntory, which also covers Maker's Mark.
Right.
Since Suntory also owns Maker's. So,
couldn't be a nicer guy.
Yeah.
So nice.
Very cool. And we tried 4 uncut or barrel proof bourbons, starting with 2 Maker's Marks. Maker's Marks?
Maker's Marks.
Maker's Marks.
Yeah.
One of them was one like this. This is Maker's Mark Private Select. This is actually from Parlay Social, which is a bar here in Lexington. But he talked about all the different staves that they put in there.
It's so interesting because they have all these flavor profiles, and you actually really get to study them a lot when you make this, and you pick the staves that go in that influence the flavors of the makers, which, I mean, on the shelf, regular old makers, like, we're neither of us big fans. But this, actually, we had the Bill Samuels Private Select.
Yeah, so it was all the staves. They're talking about toasting staves or slow roasting or, different types of wood staves. And they're actually, like, suspended in the barrel as it further ages. So the one that we tried was all of the staves.
Right.
Like, normally you can pick, I want this one or this combination of them. And it was all of them.
Yeah.
And it was really good. And, like, this one, for example, is 110.7 proof. Well, okay, we should talk about the first. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. First one we tried was just regular old Maker's Mark uncut.
Cask strength
Makers. Which we like a hell of a lot better
yes.
than regular Makers. Don't cut it down to whatever proofage you go down to, Makers.
It was really interesting because we would try it and then we would put some water in it and try it again. And every time we put water in it, we just said, I liked it better the way it was. So there's something to be said for uncut makers.
Yeah. But then we moved on to some Jim Beam products.
What did we move on to, Chad?
We moved on to this little guy, which is not a little guy at all.
No.
Tommy's batch, the first of the 2017 Bookers. And this guy's coming in at 128.5 proof. It's got the corn there on the picture.
Yes.
And this guy.
So tasty.
So tasty. I got it. Well, we're going to cork this, definitely. You can see this one. We actually picked this up like the day before we left for New Orleans. So.
And then it was just there and we got to try it. But
yeah, and it's amazing.
Yes.
Wow. I know they kind of raised the price. I'm not saying that this justifies it, but this is tasty juice. Tasty juice. And then...
And then what did we get to do? It was like 2 Christmases for Chad.
Yeah. The Booker's Rye. Yeah. The $300 bottle Booker's Rye Whiskey of the Year. And it was the hottest. It was the highest proof, I should
136
say.
point. I don't know.
And some change.
We've got cards that tell us all this.
Yeah.
And I wrote it down.
We're so prepared for this
We're
video. It was the highest proof, definitely the hottest, and the only one, we had a bottle of water and we'd fill the cap and then we'd pour just a couple drops from the cap into there. And it was the only one that we thought tasted better with the water. It did open it up.
Yes, it did open it up.
So the Booker's Rye with a little bit of water, it really did help it, and it was amazing. However, I would say between those 4, I was leaning towards this one being my favorite.
Yeah.
Were you?
I'm pretty sure at the time I said the rye. But here's the thing. We had 4 uncut bourbons, and we're talking like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, no lunch.
Yeah.
We hadn't gotten to go eat lunch yet. And the room wasn't completely full, so they set out tasting mats for every seat. But the room wasn't full, so the 2 seats next to me both had full glasses. So we kind of just took those, and we just kept trying them. And so by the time I got to make a decision, I'm pretty sure I said the rye. I can't stand behind what I said at this point.
It's okay.
But I'll tell you what, I didn't dislike any of them. They were all very good.
But this guy, for so much less than $300, around $70 or whatever, is a winner.
It was my close second. I remember that.
So that was the second to last seminar of the day.
Last but not least was Trey Smith again, who we got to hear speak on Thursday night for the dinner. Actually, could you pour me a little bit of that?
Sure thing.
And again, he walked us through some of his expressions. He had both the Oceans, he had the Pritchard, and
Manhattan.
the Manhattan. That's right. And so he had a presentation, and he really delved into the process behind each one and where do these ideas come from. And you guys, like, if you ever get to hear him talk, he has the craziest stories. I mean, everything he does, I feel like starts with, well, one night I was hanging out with so and so, or I was, at this restaurant with this guy, and just this evil genius, like, mastermind scientist comes out and is like, well, what if we?
Or I was being held for ransom by fake police.
That's a true story.
That's a true story.
That's a true story.
If you ever see him, ask him about that. But yeah, so we got to try those, and so he had some really interesting stories. He talked about the Jefferson's journey, which is actually new distillate going down the Mississippi River down to New Orleans and up to New York and so forth. But just like they did in the olden days. So
to be released.
Yeah, to be released. It's a big experiment.
So, after our last seminar with Trey, we went to the second tasting, which, again, best idea ever. Because you're like, really only need to go for one night? No, that's wrong. You cannot try everything, and you will not try everything. And if you do, you're going to have a bad time. So, we went again, and, well, the first night, we're going to just mesh both nights into one story. Because, to be fair, I can't remember what happened on which night.
No.
We ran into some friends.
We did, yes, from the Bourbon Show. And we asked Evan Haskell what his favorite bourbon of the Bourbon Festival was.
My favorite bourbon of the New Orleans Bourbon Festival that I've gotten the opportunity to try is Eddie Russell's pet project, the Master's Keep Decades. If you get the opportunity to try it, buy it.
Boom. That's right. And yes, this will be uncorked at some point, don't worry.
And Eddie Russell actually, well, we've talked to him a lot over the past few days. And so we stopped by the booth, and he kind of did this nice little, let me pour you a little something special. Which he was pouring for other people, too. But, I don't know.
Made us feel
when
special.
the master distiller pours you his little something special that he brought, it makes you feel kind of good. So
it
does.
Oh my gosh, it's got this smoky, but it's sweet. Oh, you got a little punch. It's good. That man made it over there.
Nothing tastes better than when it's poured by the master distiller of that distillery. So he poured us a little Decades, and it is a collection of 10 and 20-year-old. That's how it gets the name Decades. But he said it's mostly 13, 14, and 12, 13, 14, or 13, 14, 15-year-old bourbons. But it does have that 10 and that 20, upwards of 20-year-old bourbon in here.
Right.
And I gotta say, if you're asking me what my favorite of the fest was, this is a contender.
What's the other contender?
The other contender is Voyage 10 of Ocean. I love the cask strength stuff. I loved Voyage 7, which was the first cask strength. We're gonna have to try those together, blindly, of course. This would be mine.
Right.
Now, Sara, what's
Hi.
your best of the fest?
Okay, so what I'm drinking right now, the Pritchard Hill, which I actually got to talk to Trey about. That is a contender for my favorite. It's so, I don't know if it's just because it's so different or what, it's just really nice.
So Pritchard Hill, because I don't think we said it on this
Right,
video,
the Pritchard Hill. Sorry, that's what Chad kindly poured me in this glass. It's the Jefferson's Reserved aged in Pritchard Hill Cabernet casks. Very tasty stuff. And I love red wine and I love bourbon, and this is the best of both worlds.
It's like they had a baby.
They had a baby, and it's delicious.
They got drunk one night, and anyway, what would be your other one?
Okay, so the other thing that I got to try for the first time, I've been wanting to try for a really long time, and I've been really feeling ryes lately, was this Pikesville rye.
Ah.
Yeah, and I think we actually have a video of me trying it.
It's the rye of the year, the #2 world whiskey of the year, which we actually got to try the Booker's Rye earlier today, and I believe this is second to that. And for, roughly $50 to $60 a bottle, when you're talking about 300 plus on the Booker's Rye, this is fantastic. And I just got to try it for the first time, and it's like the perfect amount of sweet and spicy. It's bold, but it's smooth, and it's got just the right finish at the end.
Oh, this is a kick-ass rye.
110 proof.
I regret never having. I've always it's like $50. I don't really want to. If I don't know if I like it, So I've been a curmudgeon about it. I regret not having bought it up until now. 110 proof, straight rye whiskey.
And guess who makes it? Oh, shocker.
Heaven Hill, who also makes Henry McKenna and
Evan Williams.
1783 that I love so much.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Shocker.
No one's surprised.
No one's surprised.
No. Tried that High West American Prairie.
I did. Okay, so here's me talking about...
We don't do High West.
High West American Prairie.
It's stupid smooth. Like, if I had a friend who wanted to get into bourbon, this actually might be what I would start them off on. For me, it's too smooth. Like, I like to have a little more bite, a little more personality. This is just so easy. You can just drink it all day. There's like zero burn at all. So if someone's like, I'm trying to get into bourbon, what should I try? I would probably say this High West American Prairie. But for me, would I drink this normally? No, I wouldn't.
I forgot to mention, the best old-fashioned I've ever had was with Breckenridge, which I've had very little experience with. I hadn't tried it until down there. It's pretty good. It's Colorado stuff.
I just learned that Breckenridge is made with 36% rye. It's one of the highest rye bourbons out there. There's only a few, small handful that might be higher rye than this one.
Yeah, I think we're slurring a little bit at the end.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit.
you know.
But hey, that's what Ubers and rickshaws are for.
Exactly. Oh, we did take many a rickshaw down there. They
Many
have
a rickshaw. We
many a
told
rickshaw.
one rickshaw people or person, take us to pizza.
We were like, we don't know where the pizza is, and you have to take us to pizza. I've never wanted pizza so bad in my life.
I want to go to
We
pizza.
also ate gas station chicken, also known as the best chicken in New Orleans, and that's not by us. That was told to us, like the
By a
best
local.
Brothers chicken, Brothers fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Oh.
Ugh, so good. We also went to this place called the Avenue Pub, and they had a killer bourbon list. I mean, they did like their own private selections.
And a killer burger.
They did have a really good burger too. I mean, late night food. If you're ever in New Orleans, you need somewhere to go. You want a good bourbon and you want a good burger. You gotta go to Avenue Pub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they also had a blind taste test of all these 83, 86, whatever the number is, of bourbons. We weren't judges.
No.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But so there were judges, and they tried. There was categories, and they all tried them blind.
Right.
And
they didn't try all the 86. They like broke them up into categories and had
right. They didn't try all 86.
logistics. Right.
Yes. But Best of Fest
Best of
actually
Fest.
came down to
Oh, what?
Jefferson's Ocean Voyage 10 Cask
Cask
Strength,
Strength.
which was one of my two favorites. So I'm awesome.
And I like it too. I just didn't, I didn't pick it. Different tastes.
Right.
Right?
Now this one also won in the Best Cask Strength
Yep.
category as well. So it won gold twice. But overall, this won Best of Fest.
That's right.
So this is going to cause us, or because of this, we want to do a video about Jefferson's, because we did talk to Trey. We have some interviews with him we did include in this video, and we're going to uncork this guy. We're going to try it against Voyage 11. We're gonna do a flight fight with two other oceans, probably the other cast strength and another non-cast strength voyage. So we're gonna do a little Jefferson's thing here because we want to know, like, this one Best of Fest. Let's dig into it and let's do some Jefferson stuff. So,
Yeah.
So look for that coming soon.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
And I just need another excuse to open some.
Right, exactly. But to wrap it up here, this was the first annual. They are doing it again, so make sure you go to the second annual New Orleans Bourbon Fest.
Right.
Follow them. It's at No Bourbon Fest, which is New Orleans Bourbon Fest, or the website is New Orleans Bourbon Fest.
Yeah, I think it's NewOrleansBourbonFest.com. Bourbon Festival.
Bourbon Festival. Follow them. Stay tuned to the second year. This being the first year, we thought it was it ran so smoothly.
Right, and so like whatever mistakes they feel like they made, their own. And I don't think they made any mistakes other than I could say
The
starting
9
the
a.m.
9 a.m. seminar, which I've been told they're rethinking for next year. But other than that, I mean, it's only gonna be better next year because more people are gonna come. They're gonna make it bigger and better, fix anything that may have gone wrong, which it was nothing to me. But yes, we will be back next year, and you should be there too.
Yeah. All right. So
all right.
until then.
Or until next time.
Well, yeah, not until then, because we'll see you before. We'll see you before the second.
We'll see you for this.
Yeah, we'll see you for this.
Yeah.
Until next time, drink more bourbon.
Oh, yeah.